You're listening to Your Calm Parenting Path. I'm your host Nina, a mindful parenting coach and mum, here to help you go from overwhelmed and reactive to calm, confident and connected with your kids. This show is for parents who want to raise their children with more patience, less stress and a whole lot more joy. Because small shifts make a big impact and you can build the parenting life you've always wanted. If you want to see what I'm up to, follow me on Instagram at Mindful Parenting Lifestyle, and don't forget to hit follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to Your Calm Parenting Path, your podcast that helps you go from overwhelmed and reactive to calm, confident, and connected with your kids. I'm your host Nina, a mindful parenting coach and mum. And I know firsthand how hard parenting can feel when you're stuck in a cycle of frustration, exhaustion, and yelling. But I also know that small shifts can make a big impact. And that's exactly what this podcast is here to help you with. And I am so excited to be here. In this very first episode, I want to share with you a little bit more about my own journey. Because trust me, I was right where you are now. And if I can change my parenting approach, so can you. Let me take you back a few years. At the time, I had a 3.5-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, and a newborn, 3 kids under 4. It was pure survival mode. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't looking after myself, and every single day felt hard. And when I say hard, I mean I would wake up already exhausted and overwhelmed, just bracing myself for another day of tantrums, sibling fighting, mess, and chaos. I really felt like I was on autopilot. I was going through the motions, constantly reacting, constantly firefighting. There were so many moments of frustration where I'd lose my patience, I'd yell, and then I'd feel instantly guilty. I would tell myself, tomorrow I'll do better. Tomorrow I won't yell. Tomorrow I'll be different. But when the next day came, the cycle repeated, and it was like I didn't even have a second to think before reacting. One particular morning stands out in my memory. I had just spent another night waking up every couple of hours with the baby. And as I lay in bed already exhausted before the day had even started, I heard my husband yelling at the kids. And in that moment, I thought, oh, here we go again. Another day of yelling, another day of feeling like a failure, another day of upset kids and endless guilt. That was the moment something shifted inside me. I knew I couldn't keep going like this, and I knew that my kids deserved better. And I knew that I deserved better. But at the same time, I had no idea where to start. I had all these good intentions. I wanted to be patient. I wanted to be the calm, gentle mum I'd always envisioned. But I felt like I just didn't have the tools to make it happen. I mean, my parents, on the whole, had been very calm parents, and I was frustrated and confused as to why I wasn't the same. Before having kids, I feel like I had been a calm person for the most part, and so I quickly realised that no one had ever taught me how to handle my emotions in a way that didn't involve yelling or shut it down, and I guess because I didn't need them to. I felt stuck, and I knew I needed to find another way. At this point, I'd been listening to podcasts to try to get some help, and I'd been listening to the Mindful Mama Mentor podcast with Hunter Clark-Fields, and her philosophy on parenting really resonated with me. Instead of using authority and control to get kids to listen, she talked about parenting from a place of respect and connection. And I found myself nodding along to every episode thinking, wow, yeah, this makes so much sense. So when enrollments opened for her Mindful Parenting course, I signed up without hesitation. I was desperate for change, and I was hopeful that this course would give me the tools I needed to finally stop yelling and to start enjoying motherhood. The very first thing I learned, that mindful parenting isn't just about how we interact with our kids, it actually starts with us. It starts with how we take care of ourselves, how we regulate our emotions, and how we shift our mindset. At first, I resisted this idea. I remember thinking, no, I just need someone to tell me what to do when my kids won't listen. I don't have time for self-care or mindset shifts. But I had nothing to lose, so I decided to trust in the process. First thing I committed to was a daily mindfulness practice, just 3 minutes a day. That's it. And let me tell you, those first few days were hard. I remember sitting there feeling so impatient, wanting to check my watch every few seconds. I was convinced that my mind was too busy and that I wasn't doing it right, but I kept going. And something amazing happened. After just a week, I realised that I was actually looking forward to those few quiet moments. I wasn't resisting them anymore. In fact, I started extending them 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And before I knew it, I started noticing real changes in my day-to-day life. I felt a little calmer, I had a little more patience, and I was catching myself before I snapped at the kids. And that was the moment I realised that this was working. This was the missing piece I'd been looking for. As I continued practicing mindfulness and working through the course, I started seeing huge changes in myself and my family. And I'm not talking about dramatic, overnight transformations. I mean small, consistent shifts that added up over time. And here's some of the things that changed. I became more aware of my own emotions and triggers, which meant I could respond to situations instead of just reacting out of frustration. I learned how to pause before responding to my kids, and this alone made such a difference in reducing power struggles. I started meeting my own needs better, which meant I wasn't running on empty and snapping at my kids as much. I learned how to communicate with my kids in a way that helped them actually listen instead of just tuning me out. And most importantly, I started feeling good about being a mum again. I wasn't just surviving each day, I was actually enjoying my kids. Now, I won't pretend that I get it right 100% of the time. I still have tough days, I still get triggered, and I still mess up. But I guess the difference is that now I have tools. I know how to handle those tough moments without spiraling into guilt. I know how to repair after I make mistakes, and I finally trust myself as a parent. So when I was given the opportunity to become one of the few mindful parenting coaches in Australia, I was so excited to have this chance. I'd always known that I wanted to have a job where I was helping people, and this was the perfect opportunity. I trained with Hunter Clark Fields, the creator of the program, and then became certified and started my business, Mindful Parenting Lifestyle, so that I can help parents just like you. Mindful parenting has been a complete game changer for me. And the best part? It's something anyone can learn. You don't have to be naturally patient or have hours of free time for meditation or get everything right all the time. You just have to start. And that's what this podcast is all about, helping you make small shifts that lead to big impact in your parenting journey. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, Nina, that sounds great, but I don't even know where to start. Don't worry, I've got you. This podcast is here to give you simple, actionable steps to help you feel calmer, more confident, and more connected with your kids. And since I don't want you to just listen, I want you to start feeling a difference, I have a small challenge for you this week. It's the very first thing I did when I started Mindful Parenting Journey, and trust me, if I could do this in the chaos of having 3 kids under 4, you can too. So here's what I want you to try. Take just 3 minutes today to sit in silence. That's it, 3 minutes. Find a quietish spot, set a timer, close your eyes if you want to, and just breathe. You don't need to clear your mind, and if your thoughts wander, that's completely normal. Just gently bring your focus back to your breath. I know that 3 minutes might not sound like much, but I promise you, this small act of stillness can create a big shift over time. Like I said earlier, when I first started, I struggled not to check the time, but within a few days, I started looking forward to those moments. And before I knew it, that tiny habit was helping me feel calmer, more present, and more in control, even on the hardest days. So, give it a try this week, and if you do, I'd love to hear how it goes. Send me a message on Instagram at Mindful Parenting Lifestyle and let me know what you noticed. In upcoming episodes, we'll be diving into how to get your kids to listen without yelling, why power struggles happen and how to handle them differently, simple mindfulness practices that actually fit into your busy life, real stories from parents who have made these shifts, and expert insights from people who work with kids every day. And we'll be putting this parenting path into action with actionable, practical episodes where we focus on a particular parenting challenge and how you can mindfully parent your way through it. And if you're ready to take that next step and bring more calm into your home, I'd love to invite you to join my free 5-day mindfulness challenge. Each day, you'll get a short, simple prompt to help you begin building more awareness, presence, and patience into your parenting. There's no long meditations, no complicated routines, just 5 days of small shifts that really do make a big impact. You can sign up now using the links in the show notes. Next episode, we're talking about something so many of us struggle with, yelling. We'll dig into why we do it, why it doesn't work, and most importantly, what to do instead. Thank you so much for joining me for this first episode. I can't wait to share more with you next time on your calm parenting path. Thanks for listening to Your Calm Parenting Path. I am so glad you're here, and I hope this episode gave you something useful to take into your parenting journey. If you'd like to dive deeper, sign up to my mailing list at mindfulparentinglifestyle.com.au for more tips and insights, or book a free chat to learn how we can work together. And don't forget to hit follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. I look forward to speaking with you next time on Your Calm Parenting Path.